asked that in a job interview a long time ago.
This is the first time that I have a Netflix star on the Reyes Reflection Podcast. She has competed in many food competition shows, such as Cake Wars, Is It Cake 2 on Netflix. So without further ado, the wonderful, lovely Kayla Giddings, welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Man, that was really good. I like that.
What did I try? Oh my goodness, I'm going to butcher it. The powdered donut type of thing.
Beignet.
Beignet, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yes.
Oh,
That was
man.
pretty good. They had it at Popeyes, and I tried it one time, and I was like, this is pretty good.
So beignets is really, so I'm in Lafayette. Lafayette's like 2 hours from New Orleans. So, which very totally culturally like crazy. We're more Cajun. New Orleans is more Creole, but beignets are really big in New Orleans. And of course we have really good beignets here too, but like you'll get them locally. It's like a hit or miss, but there's this one little like beignet truck. It's called the beignet box. Oh my God, those things. If I see that anywhere, it's like, we're hitting a U, we're going. So, and actually when I realized that like, I'm always going to stop at this one truck, it's always parked in the same spot. So now I just like, don't go there because I can only have, so many beignets a week.
I don't know if this is where you are, but is crawfish, or there's a type of exotic fish, right? That's very popular down there. Is that right? I could be wrong.
Exotic fish.
Yeah, no. All right,
love
something we don't eat in New England. That's what I'm basically saying.
You're my favorite. That's hilarious.
I saw a video one time where they caught a fish, and the fish's face looked like an alligator, and it had little teeth. And I'm like,
Yes.
they have
That's
those
alligator gar.
I'm like, what is this thing? And it didn't have arms or legs. It was, and I'm like, what is this creature?
Louisiana's got some stuff with it. Like this place, you come here, and I really do feel like people are like, what? This is really different. I think I taught for like 7 years. And so in the beginning, maybe I had one idea of like who kids were or whatever and what their family life was like. And I would approach each day like, okay, like everybody woke up like me, like we're all, good, eating breakfast, coming to school to learn. And like, I really became culturally aware and like socially aware that no, like not everybody is waking up and getting out of their bed if they even have a bed, right? Because I didn't teach, it wasn't like really low level, but it was kind of like, they were low income level schools, like they just qualified. So it's like, it helped me as a person not to just assume anyone that I meet, like the way that I approach any conversation or meeting someone, just not assume that they're having a great day and a great life and just being a little more sensitive. I can ride a unicycle. So I was like, well, I'm going to be the unicycle coach.
I want to hear a little bit more about the unicycle coach. So you said you can ride a unicycle?
Yes. So I learned how to ride a unicycle. Like I said, so I went to the same school that I taught at. And I have this thing and it's led me to where I am today, where I just want to do the things, right? I'm like, oh, what I'm just like, what activities can I get into? So I remember when I got in 6th grade, I was so excited. I was like ready to have a locker because it was like middle school. It's like junior high. And I was like, yeah, let's do all the things and let me try out for all the teams and whatever. And you couldn't try out, you couldn't do anything. And I was like, what? You couldn't do anything until you got to 7th grade. And so I was like, well, what can I do? And it was a unicycle team. So it was the same school. And this unicycle team has been there for a long time. It's Judy's Middle School. And so I joined the unicycle team, and then I learned how to ride, and we would go in Mardi Gras parades. Events would hire the unicycle team to come like do a little riding performance thing.
Yes.
So anyway, I did it only 6th grade because then I was like, man, I don't know. Like I was catching a little like flack about being on the unicycle team. So I was like, 1 year is good. I went to a yard sale and they had a unicycle and it was like $10. So I was like, man, let me pick this one up and see if I can still ride it. And I can. And so weird, my relationship with the unicycle, because I think I owe all my cake success to the unicycle, because the first show that I ever tried to be on was Cake Wars. And so I submitted a video, and my little sister, she was videoing me, and I was like, look, I'm going to ride a unicycle for the video. And she was like, that has nothing to do with it. And I was like, yeah, but it might like stick out to them. Yeah. So then I was like riding, and I was like, I'm really good at cakes. Like, can we help to get on the show? Whatever. And then I like fell. And she was like, all right, let's redo it. And I was like, no, we're not going to redo it. Let's send them this. And then so like this was at the beginning of like when editing and all that was really good. Like, I think I had a little online editor and when I fell, I made the thing go like beep. And then I was like,
Oh, yes.
yeah, like it scratches out with the colored lines.
Yep.
And I was like, I promise I'm better at cakes than I am at writing a unicycle. And so I submitted that. And then I got a call and they were like, oh my God, we loved it. We love this. Is so awesome. Like we can't believe you can ride a unicycle. We love you. And then they're like, sorry though, we are already like fully casted. And I was like, all right, cool. I couldn't even believe like that they called me. And then about a month later, they called me back and they were like, Kayla, we are casting again. We remembered your video. Like, let's go through this like casting process. And so then I got all the way through. And then I got on the show and I'm like, man, that's thanks to the unicycle. So one of the things that I'm so upset about, sort of, on Is It Cake? On episode 5. So I think it was 5. I was like in the gallery, like I wasn't competing that show. So I was like sitting off to the side. It was like me, Pete, Miko, and the host, Mikey Day, comes out and he has a unicycle. Because at the beginning, they asked us all these questions, like random skills, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh. And unicycles have different size tires, and I can't ride every one. Like it's only one size tire that I know how to personally ride. But he had the right one, and I was like, oh man, like I can't believe, like, and they wanted me to ride it. So I was like, well, I'm wearing heels. So they brought out tennis shoes and everything, like this whole ordeal. So I was like, all right, I'm going to ride this thing. So then I get on there and I'm like riding the unicycle around the set. The bakers are like baking for their life. It's like the last 30 minutes for things. And I'm just like riding around. They're like, okay, ride into the camera, do this. Like it was a solid 20-minute like production of me riding the unicycle. And they didn't even put it in the show.
I was going to say, I don't think I saw that. Yeah. So.
Not there. I was like, I know they did it. It didn't make the cut.
Oh my goodness. So,
isn't that crazy?
That is kind of crazy.
Is It Cake was so good. Like they really treated us so well. And I felt like they made you feel like a star. It was really cool. Like we had trailers and things.
The whole show, for the people who've never seen it, it's based on the social media phenomenon, right? Where they're, and I've seen it on TikTok where they have like maybe something, a cell phone or something, and you think it's a real cell phone, but then they cut it in half and it's cake. So walk me through that process. So you said that on the other ones you actually casted, but now that were you reached out to and asked to come on the show, or did you have to go ahead and do a casting audition for the show as well?
So I think that the way that it works, based on all the shows that I've done, I feel like, so they reached out to me. And
that's cool.
Yes, they reached out to me, which was like news to me that like I was even good enough to even, it's like every show that I do, I sort of feel like I'm faking these people out. I'm like, oh, they think I'm good enough, send my best pictures. I feel like this imposter on the show, really. It's just like a thing. I'm trying to get over it because I know that I'm actually really good. Like one of the best, like I have to like, it's like this self-affirmation thing because I keep being like, they think I'm good enough. This is so weird. Like I better go fake them out. Well, anyway, so they actually reached out to me. And so the way that I think it works is like the show, like the production company hires a casting agency. So usually I'll get reached out to by like a casting agent who has no real affiliation with the production company. They're just like hired to find people. And so then what they do is they take the people that they find and then send them to the production company. And then that's when the producers will start to pick and choose an interview and everything like that. So I was reached out to by the casting company. And I was like, what made them possibly reach out to me? And it was a couple weeks after I had made, like, I had never really made hyper realistic cakes. Like I've made cakes that were realistic or something, it looked artistic, but like it wasn't like, oh, wow, is this a coffee cup or is this a cake? It wasn't like that. And so I had recently, like my last 2 Instagram posts were a hyper realistic pretzel that I made for a local, like World of Beer, like a local bar restaurant thing, and a realistic rack of ribs. And on both of them, I hashtagged Is It Cake? So if anybody's watching this who wants to know how to get on shows, like I think the power of social media,
Yes.
it's heavy. Only one thing on the whole show, I regret one thing. At the end of each show, each competition, they don't show this part, but we place our cakes on the pedestal. So the bristles were actually showing. But I could have placed it down. I could have put the brush
Ah,
around the back. I could have did any of that.
I see
But,
what
like,
you're
there
saying.
was just something in me that needed these bristles that I worked so hard. I think I spent an hour alone putting these things in the brush. So I was like, I wanted them to show, and I just shouldn't have done that because even Dixie, like, the whole time, they really were gonna pick another number, which weirds me out, but whatever. So the whole time they were like, "Oh, we're gonna pick this, this, this," and then in the last second, Dixie's like, "No, pick this one." And then for whatever reason, the mom just like clicked mine. And then Dixie was like, "Yeah, it's the bristles. Like I could see them, and like whatever." And I was just like, ah, like if I would have just put it down, it wouldn't even been a thing.
Yeah. Blindly rake cakes with you, okay?
Ooh,
So
yes.
I'm gonna say 5 cakes, and you're gonna say 1 through 5 blindly of what you think is the best, okay?
Okay. So you're just gonna say them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say them, and then you're gonna say, I think that one is 4 for me.
Okay.
And we're gonna go in a
Like
list.
tasting or like looks?
Tasting.
Oh,
Tasting.
okay, cool. Love
Yes.
that.
All right. So, all right, I'm gonna start you off with a hot one, I think. Pineapple upside down cake.
Okay. Wait, which one's the best? One's the best or
One
five's
is
the
the
best?
best. One is
Okay.
the best.
Pineapple upside down. 5.
Okay. I figured. Okay. All right. Gave you a softball there. All right. Chocolate cake.
2.
Okay. Because you don't know what's left. I like. All right. Red velvet.
1.
Oh, really? All right.
Yes.
Vanilla.
3.
Okay. And carrot.
Carrot falls right in the perfect spot. 4. Okay.
What conspiracy theory do you most believe in? But before you answer that, okay, hold on. There you go. So, what conspiracy theory do you?
I would say aliens, but I don't think that's even a conspiracy anymore. Well, I guess it is, right? I feel like it's debunked, right? Aliens are real. I was asked that in a job interview a long time ago. I was
Were
like,
you
in college.
really?
Yeah, yeah, and it was like, how good are you in this situation? And then he just threw it in there, like, do you believe in aliens? I was like, yes. And then we just kept going, and I was like, okay. He was
That
like, I
was
want to
for,
see how you think on your feet.
that was for his own personal ask.
Yeah, like he was tallying up.
If you could take any job for just 1 month, what job would you like to have? And then it says, assume that you have the skills and knowledge to perform the job adequately. So any job for 1 month.
Oh man, I would want to be like, I don't even know if this is a real thing. It's got to be. Yeah. One of those like psychologists that works in the prison.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Cause like, that's always so like, what's up with these people? I just want to talk to them.